Hello and welcome to this week's episode of P.S. Such a Connection. I'm P.
And I'm S, and we're here to discuss this week's episode of The Bachelorette.
So we're going to start off with the one-on-one date, even though that was the second date in the episode. And Derek went on this one-on-one date.
Derek. So it starts off, Derek goes, and again, not chronologically, but we're starting with the one-on-one. And I really liked the beginning, the concept of the date. They had the choose a path date concept. I thought was really
like
nice.
Choose your own adventure date.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was awesome.
Exactly.
But it also made me wonder what the things that they weren't doing were.
That's true. You didn't get to see all the other kind of things. But
it was cool, and they chose Sky first.
They chose Sky over C.
Yeah.
Which was cool, because, okay, everyone saw helicopter coming.
Yeah.
And, of course, then they have jet. They like to switch things up, I guess.
Yeah.
So, no helicopter. I was shocked.
Mm-hmm.
And then they chose north or south.
And they chose north.
North. They could have, like, gone to Mexico and, like...
Yeah.
But they didn't.
I doubt they would have gone to Mexico, though, because they would have known if they needed their passport for that day. So he wouldn't have said there's not that much south of here if he thought that they could go to a different country.
That's true.
So they went to San Francisco, and then once they got there, they had, Golden Gate Bridge.
Well, first they had, on the jet, they had dress up or dress down?
Well, no, that was just them talking to each other.
Oh, that was just... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They chose dress down together, which is weird because they
were both dressed up.
Yeah.
But
anyway. And then they chose
Golden Gate Bridge over
Lombard Street. Lombard Street. And they had a cute little picnic.
Yeah, that was on the beach looking out at the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yes. And so I don't think they didn't really show them talking about anything until they got to dinner.
Yeah.
And at dinner, Derek and Jojo discussed their previous relationships and their hard breakups and, like, being open again to new relationships. And that's kind of, like, staple bachelorette talk.
Yeah.
Like, these are the things they want to show us that they're talking about. But I wrote down that I did feel like it didn't feel that way to me.
Yeah. What I really liked was that Jojo was talking about herself, and usually the bachelor or bachelorette doesn't talk about themselves, which I get because we've seen them and they've talked about themselves on the show where they were the person vying for the attention. But at the same time, it's nice to, like, actually see them have a conversation.
Yeah, like
rather than just being talked at.
Right. Yeah, no, I liked it. It felt, to me, like, because they always say, oh, it, like, bonded us. It felt like that a little bit. Like, her and, Jojo and Derek had kind of a bonding moment over their similar dating pasts. During that whole one-on-one, they had this, cut to the house where they were all working on a song for her. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really write that much down about it.
I thought it was super
James Taylor is definitely leading that charge, which is cute.
I think that it's just nice to see guys in the house that are getting together and, like,
and getting along something. And, like, not competing so much. Yeah. I really like it when the guys don't compete so much.
And they're friends. They're just, like,
Yeah. They're having fun while competing.
Yeah. It's not so neck and neck and drama filled. It's kind of being ripped out of pages, but
So Derek did get the rose, and that leads us into the 2 group dates this episode.
The first one at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah. We missed the first, 10 minutes of the episode.
Yes, we thought the episode was still going to be at 9. We were wrong. No, whatever. So we don't know what happened at the first 10 minutes, but...
But they went to the firefighting thing, training, and Wells almost passed out.
Wells is super cute.
He's really cute.
He's climbing up my favorites ladder.
Really?
Yeah.
He didn't, like, impact me that much.
Yeah?
But yeah.
Okay.
He's cute. Definitely.
I have a strong, and I'll explain why a little bit later, but, so Grant was on this date, and he is a firefighter.
Yes. If he lost this challenge, it would be kind of very embarrassing.
It would be a hit to his career, I think.
Yeah. Like, Luke beats you. I mean, Luke is a war veteran, so that's...
So it wouldn't, I mean, it would still be, like, a hit, but you would be like, okay.
Yeah.
If Wells
He went
won,
through pretty...
it would have been an issue. It would have been an issue.
Okay. So Grant won the whole, like, saving her thing, and it was Wells, Luke, and Grant in that saving thing.
At the very beginning, Wells had that, like, he was like, oh, and he was going to pass out. Yeah. And then, see, that's a tactic that usually comes later, right?
Yeah.
The, oh my gosh, I'm having a medical emergency. And then the Bachelor/Bachelorette has to come and talk to them.
I didn't think it was so much a tactic, though. Like,
no,
I felt like he was going hard, and they were like, dude, you gotta stop.
Yeah. True.
But then he used it to his advantage, which is good.
Props.
Like,
no, that works.
Sometimes you would be, like, pissed off by that, but other times you're like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, no, he's genuine enough to where it wasn't a Tierra moment from Sean Lowe's season 17.
So, that was all that really happened on the date.
Yeah, in the afterwards.
Yeah.
They were all talking. This is where Wells had the impression on me, because the very first thing, like, obviously she talked to Wells first, or Grant
Well, she
first?
talked to Grant first because he won.
Yes. Okay, so she talked to Grant, which seemed to go well. They had, like, a kiss and stuff.
Yeah.
But Wells comes in, and immediately they're both just laughing. And Jojo was really laughing. And I was like, that is such a genuine, like, he's making her laugh.
Yeah.
Like, every, like, next thing he said, she just found funny. And I thought that was so cute.
Yeah.
And, like, a connection.
So she talked to a couple of different people, and I didn't write too much about it. I kind of wrote down who she kissed, which she kissed Luke, and Grant. And I think that's it for that date, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we learned that Evan has kids, and he's the only one there who has kids.
Oh, I didn't pay attention. Okay.
Well, he said he was the only one there. I don't know.
Maybe he's wrong, but...
Yeah, but, so that's interesting. I still don't like him very much. And Luke went to West Point, which is like 15 minutes away from us.
Yes,
so.
We live real close to West Point Military Academy, and Luke was there. We basically know him. Basically.
And Wells got the rose on that date.
Which, to me, just solidified what I had thought.
Yeah, because she definitely had a good time with him.
Yeah.
And it was definitely, like, a genuine connection type deal.
Connection.
So then we have the second group date, which didn't go as well.
This is kind of where it turns into a Chadpocalypse.
Yeah, it was kind of bad. So the date, they went to ESPN Towers, and they had to compete to be ranked in terms of how
the
good
power ranking
they were at life. I don't know.
Yeah.
At wooing a female.
So basically something silly and whimsical and lighthearted. Fun.
Fun.
F-U-N. Fun.
Not other words that start with F-U.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It didn't go very well.
So, can we just jump to Chad then?
Yeah, I don't want to focus as much on him as the episode
It's kind of hard not to.
I know.
Okay, so I do have a little bit of like, in particular, I thought Jordan and Christian, two of our top contenders, really, like, had fun with it.
Yeah.
Had a good time. I thought Alex did really well.
I loved James Taylor. He was dancing in the background.
Yes.
As they were, like, saying stuff. He was just standing there dancing. And I was like, you're adorable and I love you. But
yeah, so a lot of the guys kind of got the concept that this is a fun, like, lighthearted, and then there was one that didn't.
Yeah. See, like, I understand being honest with people, but I don't understand being too serious all the time.
That's exactly what it was. He just can't let himself go, and he can't let go of his, like, testosterone-filled rage thing he's got going on. And I thought that his, like, macho man attempts to be like, oh, the honest guy, and, like, somehow better than the other guys just makes him come off as a jerk.
Yeah.
Even more than he already is.
And I really hated that they gave him the second ranking for that, because I mean, maybe there was more that we didn't see, but everything that they showed was just him being a jerk. Like, being a jerk and calling it honest. And that, like, as an older brother, I wouldn't ever let my sister.
No. They're two, like, being a jerk and being honest are two totally separate things. Yeah. You can't be a jerk and justify it by saying, oh, I'm just being honest.
You can't call someone naggy on a first date type thing. I know it's a little bit different than a first date, but still, like, and he wasn't joking about it is the problem. And later he said that he was, and she believed him, which is, like, whatever. He has somehow found a way to, like, convince her that he's not an asshole when that's all he acts like he is.
All he actually is. Mm-hmm. I find him to be, above anything else, a manipulator.
Yeah.
And he's just manipulating.
But I feel like he doesn't even try that hard to be a manipulator, which is what really bothers me.
I feel like he is.
I don't know. Like, I just don't see any effort put into, like, oh, now I have to switch it and do this. He's just like, well, this is how I am, so if you can't deal with it. But she's like, oh, no, I can totally deal with it.
But he's so different with her, I feel.
That's true.
And then, like, I guess this is going... I'll talk about it more later, but there was something later on that he did that, to me, snapped that, like, oh, he's manipulating her right now.
Maybe once I hear that side of it, I'll have more of an idea.
But yeah, the rankings were James Taylor, Chad, Alex.
So, Jojo and Chad did kiss.
Yes.
Were they the only ones on that date who kissed? Did she and James Taylor kiss?
She kissed James Taylor.
Okay. So,
but I do have to say, when she was talking to James Taylor, he did the whole poem thing.
He did more of like a
note.
Yeah, a note / like written poetry, which I think if you do it, like, once, it's fine. If you do it every episode, every chance you have with her, it's a little much.
Don't make it a thing. Make it one cute instance.
I mean, he's a singer-songwriter, and he's gonna sing and or songwrite for her every single time, and it's gonna start to get on my nerves. But right now, it's still endearing, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But she did kiss Chad, and it was, like, a very passionate kiss.
Yeah.
It lasted for a while.
Yeah. We were like, oh, they're still kissing.
Yeah. And they also they did, like, wishes together, which I thought was adorable.
Yeah, but it's adorable in that, well, it's aggravating in that it's adorable.
Yeah, it's aggravating to us, but, like, looking at it from her point of view, I would be like, oh my god.
I know. That's true.
But James ended up getting the rose.
Thank God.
I really thought it was going to be Chad. I wrote down Chad gets the rose before she gave it out because I was so pissed off. But he didn't. James did. James Taylor.
James Taylor.
So then on to the cocktail party, where a lot of drama goes down.
A lot of drama goes down.
And a lot of eating.
So, right before the cocktail party, Jojo is coming out of the limo. Chad is sitting out on the steps.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to me, this was what happened. He was cocky in that he was all, I can have her if I want her. Mm-hmm. And they had this kind of passionate moment, and then someone else got the validation, the rose. Mm-hmm. And then, so he feels like, oh, I have to step it up a notch. And so he goes to talk to her before the cocktail party even starts.
Yeah.
And so he comes out like, like trying to do like a James Taylor note thing, like, oh, I'm stepping out to do something special for you, like just you and me, like, oh, hey. Mm-hmm. And that to me was like, I'm manipulating you. I'm putting in extra effort to make you think I'm a sweet guy.
Yeah. Okay, I definitely see that. I just thought it was like something clicked in his head where he was like, well, it's hard to tell too, because he's talking and he's like, oh, like, I don't know if I like her yet. And then after their kiss, he's like, I definitely like her.
Yeah, he does. And it's hard because he does seem genuine in that. Because he doesn't seem to hold back in his confessionals.
Yeah.
So to me, that means, oh, maybe he actually has feelings, but...
Yeah, it's one of two things. Either he realized that the way that he was going about it was wrong, mm-hmm. and he needed to switch it up and say, well, after we kissed, I started feeling this mm-hmm. for you, and it wasn't before that kiss, though, which is why I was being honest about it, but now I'm falling for you. Or he genuinely was trying to be honest, just too much so, and then mm-hmm. realized after they kissed, like, was kind of being a douche about it, but then realized when they kissed that he did have feelings for her and wanted to continue with it.
Right. Possibility.
So Chase grabbed her first, mm-hmm. and then he brought her, and they sat in front of the fireplace, and they had foam that was like snow, and they were talking cute. About like how he snowboards and skis, and how she only knows how to ski, so she wants to learn to snowboard,
which was artistically placed after Alex says winter is coming. I liked that. Props.
I love the reference of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So she and Will TP'd the bachelor house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they well, they showed it at the end too, all the TP stuff. Yeah, so that was her and Will. And then see, this is my problem with them showing Chad, because those two things are really the only things I wrote down of like the connections that she has during this cocktail party, because mm-hmm. the rest of it was just everybody fighting with Chad, or Chad cutting in on people, or people talking about how they hate Chad, or Chad talking about how he hates everyone else.
Yeah.
And
the Chad
how much he eats. Yes, exactly.
And how much he eats. Oh my god.
Like, I get if you hate someone, but they focused on how much he eats for so long. I was like, I don't care. Show me her talking to someone.
Yeah. This is the kind of thing that makes us 3 episodes later not realize half the guys mm-hmm. are even there. So
yeah, they're focusing too much on him. Like, I get that he creates drama. I get that that's what you want in a show like this, but you're also like not letting everyone else have a fair show, especially if Chad makes it to the end. I guess that's one thing, like, we've seen a lot of him, but if someone else makes it to the end and we're like, who is that? Oh, hey.
Like Brandon, who didn't even get a date and got sent home.
Oh, yeah.
Spoilers.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. I remember him not getting the date, but I didn't, like, put it together at the end.
Sorry, Brandon.
So we're gonna start doing, like, moments of the episode. Oh, one more thing?
I have... this can go along with moments, so go ahead.
Okay, so the first moment we have is drama moment of the episode. Do you have...
I do. I have, as the drama moment, the, where Chad and Alex confront each other.
That was my drama moment as well. That moment, like, towards the very end, where they confront each other under those bushes, and Ali is there with them,
And, like, Chad is about to punch him, and Alex is like, you want to go?
Yeah.
Or the other way around.
They were, like, getting hyped. And
things were escalating.
I was actually surprised that Chad was the one to end up walking away.
Yeah, a little bit.
So I thought that it was just going to continue, but it actually ended pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because Chad walked away.
And I want to talk about Alex for a minute, because Chad is getting in Alex's head. Like, Alex can't handle Chad. And he just needs to, like, not realize that there are people like Chad, and, like, okay, everyone hates Chad, and just, like, take a step back, because he's gonna be the one who ends up like, oh, Jojo, Chad's such horrible, but send Chad home. I don't know what he's using Chad, oh my god, and he's gonna get sent home because of it, or something, like Jackie from Sean's season.
Poor Jackie.
No,
I completely agree with that, and he's just, like, getting more and more fired up each time. And it also doesn't help that Chad cut in on his time with him. I feel like that was a kind of, like...
I feel like that was a decisive mood from Chad. Chad was like, how can I get under Alex's skin even more?
Alex is gonna flip out. Like, I just imagine him... Like, I think in the promos they talked about someone punching someone else. I don't think it's Chad who punches someone. Alex is getting super hyped up. So, I guess we'll have to see what happens.
We'll have to see.
So then we have the douchebag moment of the episode, which this episode we had a lot of douchebag moments to choose from. And, I mean, for me, they mostly fell down on the same person.
Obviously. I feel like he's, well, because they're focusing on him, and he is, from what we know and see, like, the main douche. Like, he just is.
So do you have your moment?
Oh, God. There was so many. I'm gonna say in the group date, not necessarily the nagging moment, just the whole exchange where he wouldn't play along and was like, well, I can't tell you what I love. It's just, to me, I can't stand people who take themselves too seriously. Yeah. And that's all he was doing.
It is something that really gets under my skin. I feel like my skin itches during this show. I wrote down a couple. I had that too, but I think I'm going to go with him cutting in on 2 different dates. Or 2 different conversations. I feel like, 1 time with her is enough. 2 times with her is, like, at that point I was like, oh, like, a lot of people have done this. It's just a way to try and get ahead. Like, they aren't, like, even if he is personally going after Alex, like, it's not an affront to Alex. It's just him trying to get more time, and it just happens to be falling down on Alex, and perhaps more calculated that it's falling down on Alex. But at the same time, a lot of people do it. Yeah. The second time, though, it was like, come on, you've had the time, you're just doing it now to get attention or to, stir up more drama because you know that everyone's after you. Like, it's not because you want to have a better time with her. No. It's just for the attention.
Especially because he also got extra time before the cocktail party. Yeah. Like, he was just...
Well, you could count that as his time with her.
That's true.
I would say. But still, that is stepping out of, like, the bounds of the show to do something. Exactly. So, yeah, the kind of 3 times taking over is a little bit too much for me. So then we have the relationship or romantic moment of the episode. And for that, I think I'm going to go with James Taylor making her cry with the poem that she had.
Yes.
That he wrote for her.
That was a spectacular moment.
Yeah, because if you can, like, genuinely make someone cry happy tears, like, it's just like laughing with Wells for you, that, like, you get them that emotional in the short time that you've known them. I think that's, like, a really not necessarily sweet thing, because you're still making someone cry, but it's a nice, like, way to see someone without, like, the shield up.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great one. I nearly forgot about that. Gosh, now I'm really stuck between that one and my Wells laughing moment, because that one for me just really stuck with me, but it was so, like, unexpected for me to see her choke up at that little note. Like, no, that was really nice. So I think those two are my my big ones for this episode.
Okay, so then we have the rose ceremony, and the people who went home are James S.
I guess with him and Chris Harrison, it didn't really pan out.
Yeah.
Sorry, James S.
Brandon and Will.
So Will was the one who had that awkward kiss the
Yeah.
first episode. It's fine. He went home. It doesn't
See,
matter.
I was still surprised, though, because they did teepee the house together.
Yeah.
And they actually showed her having time with him.
That's true.
Where, like, usually if someone goes home, they're
It's
just
like,
we don't care what you did. But I guess they, like, wanted that shot at the end, so they had to show, like, who did it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
And then poor Brandon didn't even get a date, just kind of got sent home. And of course, we don't see, like, maybe she did have a little bit of some sort of conversation at the cocktail party that they didn't feel necessary.
I mean, they probably did.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like she would have kept him for another week if they
hadn't.
hadn't talked at all.
Yeah. But it would be nice to know what happened.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see, like, the awkwardness that sent him home, or I don't, as to just be wondering, but whatever.
And even James S., like, I don't think I ever saw him talk to her.
No.
I just saw him talk to
Chris Harrison.
Yeah.
Come on, Chris Harrison.
And I mean, I know that's what James S. was there for, so, like, he got what he wanted. But still, we don't know anything about him besides the fact that he loves The Bachelor, and I mean, I guess, like, it doesn't matter that much because it's the beginning episodes, but still, like, it would be nice to know why people are going home.
Yeah.
So you can kind of get an idea of what she's looking for.
Exactly.
Yeah. So then we have next week's predictions.
Do you want to bring up our board?
Yeah. Well, who do you think is gonna go home next week?
Next week. Oh, God. It's hard. I think Chad's gonna stay. Are they falling?
No, they're not following
Okay.
us.
There's our Bachelor board up there. I don't know, because we still haven't seen Jojo interact with that many people. So for next week, maybe I'll say, I haven't seen her interact with Robbie that much, but I think Robbie stays a little longer because I saw him in some of the promos. James F. Who's James F?
James F.
Is he gone?
James F. Hold on, I have all of their names written out. James F. Yeah, I don't know much about him at all.
Okay.
He could go.
I'm gonna call going home maybe Vinny. Nick S.
I don't know, because I really liked him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, during that group date that they were together.
What did he do?
He actually may have been the one dancing in the background, not James Taylor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember being like, oh, he's really sweet and
Yeah.
cute. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say Daniel.
Yeah, they haven't shown
Yeah.
her with him much.
And
and all they
he-
seem to show him doing is being Chad's friend.
Which, he's not a good guy. I don't know. Maybe he is. And maybe Evan.
Yeah, I just feel like that's not going to work out. It may be like one of those things that's not going to work out that gets dragged out for a while because she's getting rid of other guys.
Maybe.
But I don't know. And who do you think next week is going to get a one-on-one date?
One-on-one? Let's see. Derek got the first one.
And there's only been one so far.
There's only been one. I'm going to say maybe Robbie. Because we haven't seen so much of him.
I think maybe Chad, actually.
Maybe Chad. That's a good prediction.
Although they did have the, like, good time together.
Yeah.
And she was told that if she knows about someone, she should let them wait. So maybe it won't be Chad.
Maybe it won't.
But I could see it being Chad.
Yeah.
Just to, like...
Because that's something the Bachelorette would do.
Yeah, well, also just having time with him where he's not competing with someone.
That too.
I would want to see that.
Yeah.
But then he gets more time to just manipulate her. So
That too.
Hopefully that's not what happens. But I think if it's not Chad, maybe it will be... like Christian.
I'd like to see
because she hasn't had a good chat with him that we've seen.
Yeah.
Although they did show that thing at the end of the episode where they like went into the bathroom.
That's true.
So that could be another reason why she chooses him to go on the date with.
That's true. Okay. Those
so
are
I
some
could
good.
see that.
Those are some good contenders.
All right, so now we are going to unceremoniously cross off the faces of the guys who went home.
Yep. While she does that, I'm just gonna give you guys a connection count.
So Will is gone.
We're gonna have to find a better method. We had 5 connections for this episode, but we tuned in late. So we might be off on that, but 5 connections for the episode. About.
Brandon is gone.
Bye, Brandon.
And who even? James S.
James S. Bye, James S.
Gone.
All right, so how many bachelors do we have left, Pam?
We have 20 minus 3 left.
17 bachelors left. 8 weeks. Next week, double feature. So we're going to be doing a double feature
Back to
next
back.
week as well.
Yes.
2 days in a row. This has been P.S. Such a Connection.
And you can check us out on Twitter at Such a Connection.
We will see you next week for episodes 3 and 4 of The Bachelorette.
Thank you for watching.